Karina and I recently returned from Ireland, which was one of my favorite trips I've ever been on. I also made it a down week in my Black Canyon training, which I find to be super helpful when traveling. So follow along for a down week in Ireland. We took an overnight flight out of Chicago and landed in Dublin on Monday morning. Unfortunately, I didn't sleep for 1 minute on the flight, so I was pretty exhausted, but we went to multiple coffee shops while we waited to be able to check into our hotel. To adjust to the time, we also forced ourselves to just stay up, so we walked around Dublin, had a lot of fun exploring, and we also went to the Jameson Distillery on Bow Street, which was really cool. We did a tour and got a sampling at the end. At this point, we were both absolutely exhausted, and we slept for over 12 hours when we finally did check into the hotel.
Today I'm just doing 10 miles easy with some strides. It's the first run of my down week. Took yesterday completely off because of travel. Honestly feeling like I did not get enough sleep in the last 2 days, but other than that, pretty good.
It was still incredibly green here, despite it being the middle of the winter. On my run, I ended up finding a pretty sweet park that had castle ruins and trails through it. So, of course, I'm going to take up the opportunity to run on trails and explore old castle type stuff. After the run, we hopped on a train to Malahide, which is a seaside town north of Dublin. We spent some time walking around the town, exploring buildings, and walking along the ocean. Ireland doesn't get too cold in the winter. It was never below 30 Fahrenheit while we were there, so it made it pretty comfortable to explore outside.
Alright, right now I'm headed to the park to do a workout. Still a little dark out, even though it's after 8 a.m. The sunrise is pretty late here. Workout is going to be 6 by 3 minutes on, 2 minutes off. Kind of a VO2 workout, but I'm not trying to reach very hard. It is my down week, so I don't really have pace in mind for this. Definitely more feel. Probably 5 flat to 450 pace on the ons. Made it to the park. There's lots of birds here. Karina would love it. Warm-up's done. I'm about to start here in just a minute. Goal is to kind of get faster as the workout goes on. Definitely gonna start conservative and bring it down from there. Rep 1 is done. Was just under 5 minute pace for it. Felt pretty good. Gonna roll in the rep 2 right now, actually. All right, workout's done. Probably averaged about 455. Nothing special about it. Definitely feeling a little tired from all the walking we've been doing. Now I'm doing some 200s, then I'm gonna cool down. Just getting a 2 mile cool down now. So I've just done 3 weeks in a row of pretty high mileage, 100 miles a week, or roughly 13 or 14 hours. And I wanna make sure I'm able to absorb that mileage. And a really big part of training is setting up the right environment to adapt to the training that you're putting on your body. I think a lot of people run themselves into the ground, myself included. I think any motivated idiot can go out and run 100-mile weeks, but what's important is that you're actually setting yourself up to recover and absorb that training. And that's the purpose of these recovery weeks, is every 4th week giving my body a chance for some extra recovery.
I should mention too that I was very intentional making this travel week a down week. I knew I was going to be behind on sleep and spending a lot of time on my feet walking around exploring beautiful places. I needed some extra recovery, so it made a lot of sense to make this a down week. After the workout, we hopped on a train to Howth, which is just northeast of Dublin. It juts out into the ocean, and we did a beautiful cliff hike there. We also spent some time exploring the town. After Howth, we took a train back to Dublin and spent time exploring the city. We saw a lot of historical sites and beautiful buildings that have been around for a significant period of time. My favorite sites were the cathedrals. After our self-guided walking tour, we went to the Museum of Illusions, which was actually really cool. Then we got dinner and stayed out in Dublin for New Year's Eve. On New Year's Day, we drove down to the Wicklow Mountains, and we did a gorgeous run here. There's a beautiful lake, and the terrain got relatively rugged and technical, which I was not expecting. With a few miles to go, we met back up with the rest of the group, and they closed out the run with us, which was really fun.
You guys want to be on the YouTube?
After checking into our Airbnb, we did a light walk in a place near Wicklow. It was really cool, and there was a super tall Christmas tree that you actually got to climb up a long spiral ramp. On Friday morning, we went for an easy run as a group near the Airbnb we were staying at. We had fun exploring some trails in the town where we were staying. After the run, we drove to Athy, and I did my second run of the day there.
For Friday afternoon, I'm just doing easy run out on this path that I found. Gonna try to sneak some hill strides in at the end.
I ended up doing this whole run on a path along this river in Athy. It was really gorgeous and green there. Saturday morning, we did our long run. We started off in a big group, which was a lot of fun, and then me, Ange, and Caleb split off and did a light progression along the river path. The reason we're in Athy, or Ireland, for the first place really is so that we could go to our friends Mia and Evan's wedding. The venue they picked was gorgeous. Unfortunately, I didn't take much footage of it because I was just trying to enjoy the moment. It was a beautiful wedding and we had a lot of fun. On Sunday, we drove to the Cliffs of Moher, which was my favorite part of the trip and the thing that I had really been looking the most forward to. I could sit and stare at the ocean for hours, so these cliffs did not disappoint. We were staying in Galway when we visited the cliffs, which is a west coast town of Ireland. We got to our Airbnb after dark, so I didn't get any footage of the run that we went on, but me, Ange, and Joe did an easy run in the town. After an easy run Monday morning, which I did not film, we drove to the Kylemore Castle, which was a little bit north of Galway, but absolutely worth the visit. We got to tour the inside, and it was so cool to get to see all of the decor from the era that the castle was prominent. There's a beautiful Victorian garden attached to the castle, which we also got to tour. After the castle, we made our way back to Galway for one last dinner out before flying back to Salt Lake City. If you made it this far, thanks for watching. I know this is a departure from my usual content, but I had fun compiling all of the footage of the beautiful places I got to see, and I think someday I'll look back on this video and remember a really fun trip that I got to go on.